really need to do is we need
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
You good? Like, you just let us know if you're ready, if you're good to go.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes. I'm good. Since we know I'm doing fine, Herb, how are you doing this beautiful Tuesday night?
I'm doing fantastically splendid.
Fantastically splendid. All right.
My brother likes to say.
Yes. Question right quick. Before we go on, do you ever find it hard trying to pick out which hat you're going to wear for each podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So first, I have no fashion sense, so I'm never going to look as good as you on here anyway. Right. But it's like they're all up there. I finally got to go pick a shirt. Today it's a little cold downstairs, so I went with long sleeve, and then I'm like, all right, what hat? I even was watching our last broadcast with our guest, and I made sure to not wear like the same hat and shirt.
Oh God, dude,
I was like, I don't want him to think I'm the Alabama fans got one thing to wear. So, I hear you. So let's give a quick hello to the people in the chat before we bring them on. Lady Alpha, Roll Tide. Know she's been a little under the weather. Hope you're
feeling better, Lady Alpha. Thank you for joining us.
Cat Pool. So the Alpha Pools are in the house. Yes, please hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. For us, we're trying to make our way to 500 with a pit stop at 400.
We're at 365. So we're trying to get to 400 very, very soon. Goal is 5 before the season starts, and I think we're going to get there. So just need a little more support, and of course, much more work on our end, which we're going to produce out as far as content. So we appreciate everybody's support, but we can always use more.
Sir, what's up, Carol? Second time seeing Carol. Was over there checking out on Randy's podcast a little earlier. So you're doing all right.
Carol, thank you for
what up, Big us. Mike? Roll Tide.
Big Mike in the building.
Mike keeping all sorts of hours these days, but still stopping by. We appreciate you. And then Jimmy Clay in there. What's up, buddy? Roll Tide. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for joining us.
Kyle, Roll Tide, buddy. Hope you're having a good night, man. Oh, and there we go. Well, Sadie, we can't do that for you, but we appreciate you stopping in to support our guests.
Sadie, thank you for saying Roll Tide, Sadie. We appreciate that. I think that's what she meant to type. Well, she typed this other stuff here, so
yes.
I'm not sure what it says.
Sadie has actually joined us for several things, and I sent a message out to her today. Say, hey, we got a guest on today. Need you to come support. So
yes.
Thank you for stopping by. Roll Tide to Shane.
Thank you for Shane.
Roll Tide Ephraim.
Ephraim, thank you. We appreciate you.
And yes, I have to have a massive wardrobe just to survive.
Yes, he does.
Survive Alabama games. Anybody knows my tradition. And when the game's going bad, I change clothes. And yeah, it's rough sometimes out there. So we'll catch up with some more comments in a minute, but we got to get the guest on, Raj. This was one of the things I was going to say before I introed him. He was voted the most popular Auburn fan in America. It's also been evidenced by the fact I think we're the 4th podcast that he's done today, one of his own, and then 3 others back to back to back. I have trouble enough getting through hours, especially having to stomach Raj for a whole show.
Likewise.
This man has made it work. Okay. Hugh Freeze gave some comments today at SEC Media Days we'll talk about. Our guest is the one that mapped out all of his comments and actually wrote down what he was supposed to be saying. And I believe I saw a little earpiece, Hugh Freeze. I can't confirm that yet, but I believe he was actually talking to him during the thing, kind of like head coach to quarterback.
Okay.
And he's also the man who brought Jackson Arnold into the fold and has been having passing drills with him every single day.
Wow. I was unaware.
Yes. Raj, we always bring the best on. From the E2C Network, Kyle Looms, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Apparently need to put in some more work at the quarterback position because what we've been doing, if I'm involved in that, is not working. Let me just say that. So thanks, guys, for having me back. It is.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Yeah. You guys get the final crack at me this evening. So I'm tired. I'm raw. I might swing a little bit for the fences here now at this
Go
point.
for it. We
Do what you
always
gotta do,
encourage our guests, man, to go for it on our show. And so we've had some guests who are like, oh, I think my team might be like, 8-4 this year. I'm like, 8-4? No, talk your guys up. This is the
Right,
time for
right.
optimism. Wait for pessimism in like game 6.
Game 6.
Yes.
It does feel like the time where that starts to set in, if the reality of what the season will be or might be sets in about that time.
Yes, sir. And Randy, saw you jump in there. Hope you're having a good night, man. Saw you guys on there earlier.
Thank you for joining us, Randy.
Let's be honest. Are you tired yet? Because I've seen, what you've been saying about it, of the Hugh Freeze golf questions leading up to media days. And then I didn't get to see the Tennessee broadcast, but I know you guys touched on a little bit. But are you guys a little tired of that? Because I know you had your personal feelings and you weren't really worried about any of it to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly can rehash that a little bit for everybody who wasn't one of those other spaces. But I'm. It's not that I'm tired of it. I actually don't. I enjoy talking about it with you guys because we're taking a more well-rounded approach. What I'm tired of is the obsession and lack of context-driven conversations around these type of topics and people not doing their homework before they did it. I have these high expectations for us as Auburn fans. We preach all these things. I feel like we live out most of these things that we say and what it means to be part of the Auburn family. But I feel like we can just do better in some of these areas. And come on, folks. I mean, we're talking about golf in the middle of football. Like, first of all, why is there even a journalist spending time? I know why, to look up these things and somehow wait for the perfect opportunity to put that in. I've said this a couple times. I'll say it here. If you are, I'm talking to the Auburn fans. If you are spending any time worrying about golf, you need to find something else to do with your life. But in terms of with relation to football. Now, if we're talking about the men's golf team, outstanding, by the way, women's as well, too. But I mean, they didn't win. They didn't defend their national title this year, but we won't get into that. They still had a great season. No, I think it's fine to take a story and digest it, talk about it a little bit. But amongst the Auburn fan base, I've been a little bit disappointed with the obsession about it. The opposing fans taking it and run with it. That's just what we do, right? I mean, I've used this example for Randy with the whole Georgia. Everybody gets in a speeding issue over there. So we call it Speed U over here at Auburn. Yeah. So it's just what fans do. Opposing fans do. I got no issues with that other than, Big Mike taking his shots.
You said that earlier, and that's why I figured you'd be okay with it. Your other fan bases are supposed to take their shots whenever they can.
Yes.
You expect that.
And especially during now, like to Kat's point, is the joys of the off season. I mean, obviously recruiting is like the hot topic around college football nowadays, but that's kind of slowing down now. So whenever this whole golf thing comes up, we need something to talk about. We need something to put on social media.
Thank you.
We need something to just engage with other people, regardless of how absolutely ridiculous it might be. Let's just put it out there. Hey, let's talk about this today. Oh man, Hugh Freeze isn't recruiting. He's golfing. All right, cool. That's really it's the best we can come up with today. So we'll find out something tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah. Just take if you're an Auburn fan, just take a step back, realize what's going on here, and it's Kenyatta Watson. I said this on Randy's show. Is our recruiting director.
Right.
He said it best. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And also, let me point back to the past. What has Hugh Freeze built his reputation off? Recruiting, because he's done it well. He's done it here well at Auburn for the 2.5 years that he's been here at this time. And I quantify that not by stars, not by rankings, but by those people that he's recruited getting onto the field, earning playing time quickly, replacing people that were already here, and then becoming all SEC type of guys, either getting those recognitions or close to those recognitions as true freshmen, true sophomores. That takes time, that takes patience, but we're seeing those dividends. So a small blip, a sprint, when this is really a marathon and people are worried about a sprint, I'm going to go back to Mr. Watson, our recruiting director. I'm good. I'm not worried about golf.
Okay. And we'll get kind of more into that in just a little bit, following up with the recruiting thing. What else did you take from it? And I didn't, full disclosure, didn't watch. I read through the transcript of his, so I don't get body language in that, of course, but I did read through all his answers. Surprised he didn't take an opportunity to take a shot at Lane Kiffin, but he was actually complimentary of him. I thought that might be like a burn him down. He was like, hey, I don't have time for social media. Were you surprised at that, or did you feel like that was kind of let's just get by it on this?
No. I expected exactly how it went. If I know you didn't get to watch it happen live, but you'd see him chuckle and kind of like, oh, here we go again. Old Lane getting me. They have a family connection. Some of his family Chris Kiffin has been part of his staff's previous, and he has a great admiration for his father and Lane as well. And everybody knows this is Les Miles. You know what you get with Les Miles. You know what you got with Steve Spurrier, their antics and stuff. This has been established before in terms of what he does and why he does it. I will say it gets kind of sad that we live that rent free in his head, that being Lane Kiffin.
Right.
But I didn't expect anything else from Hugh Freeze other than just a chuckle and saying, well, he can do what he wants to do and just take it in stride. He was getting attacked from all different angles at this point. So it's basically like a duck, water rolling off your back at this point. He knows the worst of that is not coming from Lane Kiffin.
Right. Well said.
Yeah,
well said.
That's true.
What else did you take from his comments kind of overall?
The big buzzword of the day for me, assessment of self, head coaches assessing themselves, players, team, program. We all recognize that there have been several losing seasons in a row. No hiding the facts. We've got the recruits. We've got these people getting on the field early, seen some success with that in terms of just individual performances. What's not working? Well, you got to do some real hard look and self-assessment to do that. And so the big topic today for me that I found very interesting was this concentration on these personality tests or psychological tests that the coaches put themselves through, their players through, namely their transfer portal guys. And I think it's easy just to go, well, of course you would do it for a transfer portal guy. It's a quick little assessment of is this going to be a good fit when you're in a speed dating scenario. I think Hugh even spoke to it that way. But it also is important in general to do it for yourself and things like that. So I see a lot of self-reflective today. And with that, I see a lot of confidence because I think they have taken the time to digest what isn't working. Where do we need to go? And so if you've got that introspective look at all levels, up and down the board, to me, you couple that with the whole picture of the recruiting, I think that could spell for some interesting time this year for people, especially when you couple in convenient games at home. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that I'm ready to talk about it, but yes, that is very much on it. We'll get to that in the last segment for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, sir, we are unfortunately with you on that.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, you don't expect to walk away necessarily from SEC Media Days with bad vibes. I walk away with that just little positive nudge that I'm looking for, that the right things were said, the things that were concerns needed to be addressed, and they were addressed, maybe not to the length somebody would have wanted them to, the golfing and things like that, but didn't shy away from them. I think the boxes were checked, and you can kind of start feeling that fervor if you're a fan. Okay, can we believe? We'll see.
Sorry, going over the Kiffin and the Auburn AD had a great lunch together while Hugh Freeze on the golf course. Yeah, Mike is taking the nuts. Rod, did you have any questions about Freeze, or we're going to move on?
No, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Okay. Two lesser known, it seems like we're just kind of skipping over the players. So you have Jackson Arnold, Keldric Faulk, and Connor Lew. Anything that came out with those guys that you wanted to kind of talk about and throw out there?
Jackson Arnold called out Horatio Fields as a guy that people are not paying enough attention to at the wide receiver.
I remember you talking about.
Yep. You got Cam Coleman, you got Eric Singleton. People are also starting to forget Malcolm Simmons, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Did y'all forget what Malcolm Simmons did last year across all aspects of the game, special teams, and as like that specialty wide receiver guy? Don't sleep on my man Malcolm Simmons. But it was nice to hear the QB1, as all things are pointed towards, to call out some other guys that aren't getting enough of that love. So Horatio Fields from Wake Forest, our continue to remind people Perry Thompson's still there. He had a great spring. That was part of that Freeze 4 package. Bryce Cain's there, sitting there too. Sam Turner. The weapons are either proven or seem to be ready to be proven this year at the wide receiver position, and Jackson Arnold is very excited about that. There's a lot of talk and emphasis on this offensive line led by Connor Lew at the center position is going to be the best that Auburn's had in quite some time, which is saying something. Actually, it's not saying much because it's not that hard to do, to be honest with you. Listen, please hear me out when I say this too. I am not taking an individual shot at any one guy. It has been a unit problem for a lack of consistent play. Yeah. But Connor Lew today, to me, struck me as a guy that was ready for the moment. And not that he hasn't been. He's the reason he earned starting time as a true freshman. I just looked at the guy today. I was like, that dude's finally he's a dude. He's a man. Like he's the way he's carrying himself. He realizes I am stepping into the place of this is my team. And so you couple that with, the excitement about Jackson Arnold, Connor Lew, and then Keldric Faulk, who's just can I have a man crush on someone? Like, and I just have a crush on that family, to be honest with you, because JJ, his brother's here as well. Mm-hmm. I love Keldric Faulk. 2 years in a row, SEC Media Days representative for Auburn. He's already high on draft prospective boards. The results show on the field. I said it was just a small little good vibe in the right direction after the day, but maybe it's more than that. I'm just kidding myself because I love these guys. I think there's only one person that I would have swapped out for just to give them another chance, somebody else a chance, and instead of Keldric, K.N. Lee at cornerback, who's been here for a while. I would have loved to have seen that, to hear from him. But these are your guys right here, man. I think ready to lead this team. So a lot of good stuff from them today.
Quick question regarding Keldric Faulk, and I know you speak highly of him, and some other Auburn fans have as well. What are your expectations for him in the 2025 season?
I think he's got to what his words were today. He has been a person who leads by example. He's got to be a person that leads vocally now. That voice, Eugene Asante, namely, is gone. And others as well. He wasn't the only vocal leader on the team, but certainly that's where most Auburn fans would go when you thought about last year's leader on the defense. This is Keldric Faulk's team in terms of the defensive side of the ball. I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's pretty clear who people will be looking to when things get tough. And it's a season in the SEC, so things will get tough. To what degree we can all debate. So I think that's what I'm looking for from him, is that vocal, on the field, in the moment leadership that I think I've seen before, but others have been able to carry that weight for him. So that's it's kind of nebulous way to say it, but it's a
gotcha.
That's my way of evaluating what I want to see out of Keldric Faulk.
Yes,
I like that.
CJ Bacon there, our resident troublemaker. In the building. So yes, Jay Bake is well loved by us. He's the kind of guy that'll probably come out, punch you in the face, and then invite you for a beer later. So he's one of those guys. We're gonna meet up with him.
Shout out to Jay Bake. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, we'll pick Nashville because that's Auburn North. We have taken over Nashville lately with our contingency of fans
going
out
off
there.
This one, and you did have a couple other questions, and you talked about with Freeze and stuff. So Ephraim said this. Did you want to react to this one as well?
Said his last QB didn't stick to the script. I think you could see some instances of that with Peyton. Talked about assessment. Coach talked a lot about how he can learn to coach, speak to, and intentionally, I want to say change, but mold himself to what each player needs. And as an offensive guy, his quarterbacks. And I think Peyton and probably Hugh were good for each other in that regard, that they kind of, didn't necessarily always feel like they were aligned in the right way. I don't know how that's going to work out for Peyton in the NFL. Most people are going to take shots at him at that in that way. But for Hugh, I think that was a good assessment of him. And that's probably where I would go with that. I think Peyton gets a little bit extra flack than he needs, but at least if what came out of that was Hugh assessing himself and how he can best serve his quarterback this year, I'm good with it.
Yeah. And you kind of mentioned, and I don't know, I'm probably reading a little bit too much into it, but how they've handled the quarterback position, you would have done it differently? Does that mean you wouldn't have brought in Jackson Arnold at all, or you felt like that was an okay person to bring in? And following up of, bringing in Peyton Thorne, of course.
Well, the story going into the offseason was that Peyton would, leave this year, obviously. But then Walker White and Deuce Knight would duke it out. And then it wasn't so it was funny because people wanted to get into the quarterback battle early this year. And I was like, just hold on. I think some things are going to be, as they always are, not fully known just yet. And I had no clue that as soon as Jackson Arnold come in, Walker White would run off to Baylor. So we'll see how that works out for him. Good luck to him. But a lot of people saw Walker White as before Deuce Knight, the heir apparent. So that really turned things on its head. So I was like, oh, we are going all in on Jackson Arnold. So I don't think it's even if I prefer Jackson Arnold or not. That's who we had, and that's who kind of changed and molded the quarterback room around. So you're down to Jackson Arnold, Deuce Knight, and then Ashton Daniels, who came in from Stanford. But I think we all recognize this is a guy's last swan song and is going to factor into this team in ways we're probably not aware of yet. But I think we all recognize he's here to fill a role, not necessarily be the guy unless HE double hockey stakes breaks loose and everything is just falling apart as it's tend to do for Auburn these days. I think I answered your question. I hope I did.
Yes. Yeah. So quick question. So can you give us anything on Deuce Knight? I haven't really heard too much of him. And of course I don't follow Auburn as much as you do, but can you give us any as far as assessment on him, or how is he landing with the team right now? Is he doing good, doing bad, or where exactly does he stand right now? Is he the certified number 2, or is it still too early to tell?
Hugh doesn't like traditional depth charts. He won't even use the term starter with Jackson, but he says number 1 guy and things like that. So we just kind of have to go with what we know. And you send him to SEC Media Days, he's the number 1 guy. So that's how that shakes out. After that point, I think it's not even about being number 2. It's, do you want to redshirt him or not? Or do you want to go ahead and start playing him now just to keep him happy, keep him around? I think de facto he's number 2, but if Ashton Daniels gets out there and shows that he's got a little something in his final swan song, then maybe he is the number 2 thing. In terms of what we've seen out of Deuce, going back to spring, which was our last true look at him, I use the term freshman phenom, but as soon as I say that, people only react to what they hear in that and don't realize what I'm saying. This is what I talk about, to context and people listening, not just reacting. Right. Freshman phenom. He makes phenomenal plays, but he makes freshman plays too. Yeah. So that's what I saw at spring. A guy in our short window of time, in whatever we call that now, the 8-day event game thing. A guy that can make, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it, that he can make phenomenal plays at the college level. He can also have a tendency to still make freshman plays, which right? I mean, I'm thankful we're in a situation where we don't have to test how freshman he is.
Yes. No, I saw the exact same thing, Keon Russell at our 8A. People like, oh, what's the future? Yeah, in the future, great. But right now, freshman mistake means I can fit this ball in there because I did it in high school. Where in college, all of a sudden, those 2 guys that make you look open, he's not open.
Right. Defenses are going to be a lot different in the SEC as opposed to Texas high school football too. No disrespect to Texas high school football, but it's going to be a lot different than the SEC. So yeah. To her.
So, what do you expect from Jackson Arnold this year?
I would like to see him not go back into bad habits that probably developed at Oklahoma. I know that's asking a lot given what Auburn has shown you they'll provide you in terms of consistent offensive line play, and I mean none. So I say that jokingly. I am behind believing in this offensive line. I do live in that world of I need to see it kind of now at this point before I fully start buying into it. But let's recognize this. As much as we may try to push the blame over that way, it's still incumbent upon Jackson Arnold to understand what he's working with and fight against developing some of those bad re-emerging some of those bad habits that may have some turnovers, things like that. I hope he can stay healthy. I hope we can keep him from being in situations where he may injure himself with the offensive line. Right. He's talking up this wide receiver group, and you would understand that obviously coming from Oklahoma where they had no wide receivers because they were all injured.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't hurt him against us, but I don't want to talk about it.
I wasn't going to bring it up. Y'all said it.
It's
Kyle,
still
you had to
hurt.
bring it up, didn't you?
Look, you come to talk to us because you know we're honest, right?
Yes.
And we're always going to be honest about it, and that just hurt. But go ahead.
But I think he's really excited. So to me, he's building the hype around this, and it looks like buying into the culture. So I'd like to see the guy, to cut it down to simplest terms. I got to see, a big ratio between touchdowns and interceptions or fumbles as well, because obviously those factor into a court. If you're out there running around, I got to see you securing the ball, making smart decisions that somebody who's been in the SEC, who's had a few bumps and bruises physically and or mentally, has learned from those things. I think if I see him go on the road to Oklahoma, let me preface this. I think a lot of people have made that game out to be more than it is. It's a cool reunion story. I'm not looking at that as like, if he doesn't do this, then wow. But I'd love to see him just go back there and tear it up and shut down all these Oklahoma Sooner fans that I find in my TikToks lives and all this stuff that are just trashing the dude. I'm like, y'all are setting yourselves up. If this dude comes and shows out in Norman, Oklahoma, Auburn's first game there ever, y'all got some egg on your face, man. So just settle down a little bit, you little Sooners. I mean, y'all have had a pretty rough entry to the SEC as well. That's kind of what I'm really interested in, what he's going to do on the road. Yeah, Oklahoma, Texas A&M to start off SEC schedule. That's tough.
Yeah, pretty brutal. Pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Hey, talk with Kyle Loomis here from the E2C Network. This is your Auburn preview right here on the Herb N Rodg Podcast and on streaming on the Bama Standard. I see some questions in there. We are saving them to work them into certain conversations, so you guys can keep those coming. Don't think that we've missed them. This one just got asked, and I couldn't confirm it, so I was going to skip it, but it's like I even text our boss, and he's like, I'm not sure. Did you hear anything about a complaint filed against Kiffin from Auburn?
That's news to me.
Okay.
I have been looking this up, too, when I saw it in the chat. If it happened, then whoever the source is, kudos to the source, but I haven't seen anything about this.
I think, listen, about this whole Lane Kiffin thing, I think everybody wants Lane and Hugh to be the antithesis of each other. But at the same time, like, they just seem to be like, have an understanding, like, we're just going to go after each other and have fun with this. And it's like our inside joke about that. No, I didn't know anything about that.
I didn't either. And I guess Raj and I are doing the same thing. We saw the comment. I'm trying to confirm it before I ask it as a question. I can't see anything, text the boss, and he's not sure. He heard it from someone else on the program before us. So
I don't know, but you know what? Some people put it on social media to make to what we talked about earlier. It's good for engagement. Hey, somebody look into it. Might not find out anything, but hey, whatever.
So one part on our Saturday night show, we've kind of been going through Cole Kublik's list of him ranking the top 5 position groups, and Auburn came out at number 1 on wide receiver, and you've kind of already been talking about it with Jackson Arnold's feelings. So, hey, this is your chance to kind of go ahead and talk about that group and what you're expecting from them as well.
Yeah, the hype is it's building every day around that group, and for good reason. Cam Coleman showed that he's legit in terms of being ready for the SEC, even as a true freshman last season. There were some bumps in the road there. Some of that was around injuries and stuff like that. But if you take that beginning and that ending for him, looked every bit of the part of what people were expecting for him. Obviously, you couple that with hype around the Eric Singleton acquisition from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech fans, by and large, what I hear is they're real sad that he left. So that's a good thing. I think Auburn fans are being a little bit susceptible to applying what happened with Keandre Lambert-Smith to Eric Singleton and assuming it's the Cam Newton thing. Surely the next one of these kind is going to be the next Cam Newton. I am not saying he's not. Please, if you're an Auburn person, please don't hear me telling you he's not talented. He's not going to be great. I just want to wait and see kind of thing, because I like to go off what we can best know. We know that Cam did that. We know that Malcolm Simmons, who I was talking up earlier, showed up and showed out in that way. Horatio's getting before Jackson said it, I thought Horatio Fields was not getting looked at enough. I want to wait and see on Eric Singleton, not because I'm doubting him, but just because how's that going to work? You got Cam Coleman, who's the star in a sense, and then another superstar coming in. How does that work with young gun and guy that's been around for a little bit, and Eric Singleton? But in terms of just hype, excitement, yeah, that wide receiver room has got all the makings of what it could potentially be.
Right.
This is a 2-part question. In the SEC,
Whoa.
Where would you rank?
You need to take notes? Or...
No. Where would you rank Auburn's wide receiver core in the SEC? And number 2, do you think they have the potential to be the more supercilious wide receiver core in the SEC? And yes, that part 2 was just so I can throw in that word.
Okay. I was gonna roll with it, but you acknowledged it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have a problem if people want to put them at number 1. I think it's a little premature. I would definitely put them in top 3 category. That's where if someone just wants to say top 3, I'm right there with you. I'll say 2 just to be on the safe side. I'm not just trying to be, like, I feel like sometimes I come across as a bit of a pessimist, and that's not me at all. And it's ironic because the people that accuse me of being a pessimist then call me. Then there'll be the sunshine pumping accusation, which I love. So
right.
You can't win whichever way you go on these things.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we were watching that list, I think Auburn was 1 and Bama was 2. I felt like it was kind of more Auburn has like a more qualitative group. It's kind of more at the top versus Alabama, I think, has more depth to their group. But I wasn't mad at the rankings at all. And you mentioned in there Singleton. Cole Kublik was very high on him. Like you would have thought they were related as well as he was talking to him. But that's somebody. And see, there you go. Oops, sorry, super slick. Singleton, yeah. So,
I think Mike thought I said supercilious.
Let's get you a couple random questions, but before, when did supercilious become a ranking? Look, Mike, we just have fun on this show. Sometimes we have no idea. And to Ken Effie, to Kyle, that's why we were trying to confirm it. I just have no confirmation. We don't mind the question, but before I asked it, I wanted to actually make sure it was a thing. So
yeah, I thought I'd missed something as well there. So I was like, oh, that's probably something I should know about, and I'm behind.
We will give Jay Baker a little bit of shine. This is something that he's been posting forever. What do you think if this happens?
I mean, if you lose your homecoming game, it's kind of it's hard for me to help you come back from that. Harsin nearly did it and pulled it out of his butt. Yeah, it's hard to come back from that thing. He tried. Wait a minute, am I correct on this? Hold on. Yes, he tried to do it twice. So Georgia State and Missouri. Yes, I think. I'm trying to remember if that wasn't Malzahn's last year. No, Harsin nearly lost twice in the homecoming situation and had to have a miracle from TJ Finley against Georgia State and then a fumble by Missouri at the goal line. Yeah.
Wherever that guy is right now.
I mean, at some point you got to give it up, right? Or maybe not.
Can I tell you how funny a TJ Finley story?
Of course.
Oh, man. So obviously I'm not a traditional media person. I'm not even a beat writer quality type of person. I just kind of go out and do what I can to be a content creator. But we have what's called a reverse Tiger Walk. It's not as big a thing as it used to be. But the idea is you go as the team is leaving the facility to load the buses to go away games. Yes. But for home, they go out of town to get them out of there just nearby. So you go, you cheer them on, all that stuff. It's a good time if you're a fan to go get autographs, pictures in a very low-key format, and they're very willing to do that. So it's a great Auburn family time. But so we're doing this, TJ Finley, and the buses are just not leaving, and they're supposed to be gone. I'm like, well, who's going on? And there's this one guy, he's former Auburn player, Jarrell Brostrom. He's like I don't know what title you give him now, but he's the guy of checking off the list at that point. And so when Jarrell comes out, everybody's loaded up, but he just keeps looking around. And then about this time, I look and I see this speck off the distance, and it's coming in hot. And I mean hot. And so I'm like, well, how is that moving so fast? This is TJ Finley, all 6'7", 6'6" of himself on this little bitty scooter, come flying in and just, I mean, not even caring about this scooter thing, just throws it off to the side and just like acts like he wasn't even late and jumps on the bus. So I'm like, dude, you ain't hiding nothing. You're 6'7".
He's 6'7". Yeah.
Like we all, like, and then sure enough, as soon as he loads the bus, Jarrell marks that last thing, and then they go off. So I was like, anyway.
I'm just impressed that he just tried to pull it off and walk. Like I'd let him go just because he had the balls to do that. So
yeah, it was pretty funny.
Let's see what else. Yes, we have the super silliest podcast ever. Thank you, Mike. Raj, you see what you've done to the podcast?
Right. I know, but I like it. I like how Mike is using it now, so that we could put that on our title. The super silliest podcast ever.
Yeah. Kyle, now you're gonna have this is gonna be trending now because we're all gonna be searching for this for the rest of the night, trying to find out. So
local Auburn podcaster confirms story with Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin. Here I am now, part of this also.
Yeah, it's not so. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I never thought of you as like a pessimistic guy when I watch your stuff. I always feel like, I don't know, you kind of tell it like it is, and if you feel optimistic about it, like with the golf thing, but I never thought of you as a pessimist.
I think the idea is that if you're a realist, if you tell it like it is, that somehow has like you're willing to be a little bit more negative, and that's not just the case. I mean, the sky is not falling everywhere. Like we could just take a step back and breathe for a second, folks.
Right.
I do get more of the sunshine pumping accusation, which it just makes me giggle every time I see that. I was like, that's someone who's living their life just in a sad way. If that's the best you got on me, bring it on.
You're good. Yeah. I agree. I like it, man. I like it. All right, we've pretty much asked every coach this, so this isn't just because it's an Alabama for Auburn thing, but your Hugh Freeze hot seat rating going into this season.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who you talk to, right? If you talk to pundits out there, and what we want to talk about in the offseason is hot seat ratings. Hugh's on there, right? I guess the question is where's he at on a SEC list of hot seats or a all over hot seats? To me, the seat should not be hot. It should be warm, because we've got to see on the field the expectations of the on the field success have to start coming this year.
Right.
It's going to mean different things to different people. I have legitimately heard from people that pretend to be saying Auburn fans that say if he doesn't reach 9 wins this season, that he's done, and that he should be, not that they think he will be done, that he should be done. And I'm just like, I mean, okay, sure. I need to know what you mean by that. Do you mean he wins every game but loses the 3 easiest games on the schedule? Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? There's some discussions that need to be had within that. So hot seat rating, to me, it's obviously a 50-50 with where I'm at. I'll lean over it's warmer than it probably would like to be for him. He acknowledged that today, by the way. Talked about that he thrives and loves that Auburn has these expectations of him and his program, and kind of countered against some other things that were misconstrued earlier this year too, about how he had set expectations too low. So the seat, obviously from the outside looking in from a general college football fan perspective, probably looks very warm, but that's probably because you're seeing a lot of Auburn fans that just want to sound like they got the hot takes and stuff like that are carrying these narratives out there. Does that mean that he's going to survive the season? I don't know, because the powers that be, that's the famous phrase that everybody uses these said. Right. What's their standard, right? What are they looking for?
Which changes from year to year.
Exactly. And with Nick Saban out there and us going to get him, I mean,
based on
you were the one that started the rumor, weren't you?
Based on the rumor we heard this morning, apparently there's a possibility it could happen. What if that did happen?
I was going to ask you.
I know I just pissed off a lot of Alabama fans by asking them that. What if that was actually happened? Oh my goodness.
It would be, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to.
I don't know.
I don't know what that would be. I don't want it. I want no part of that, man. But he's got too much crimson stain on him. I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, there's LSU fans that hate, Saban, even though he went to the NFL first and came back.
Yeah.
But it was nowhere near the legacy he built in Alabama,
right.
with LSU. Going to Auburn would just
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, I was about to say you're getting roasted right now, man.
That's why I said it. I had to bring it up.
Judas. Oh my goodness. I don't know if all the people that are protecting him right now, if you say anything bad, would just turn on him in a heartbeat. That would be it. So
Kyle, let me ask you a question right quick. Hypothetically speaking, based on what we were just talking about, if Hugh Freeze was to have another bad 2-3 years, whatever the case may be, and his seat eventually got crispy and he was removed, is there a name out there that you wouldn't mind seeing take that place if that was to come to play?
We're going down the road that I hate going down.
While you're thinking about it, Randy, because Kirby Smart's not on the hot seat. They gonna build that man a statue. So no, that would be a ridiculous. At least everybody else we've asked at least has some degree of it.
If you want to start fun stuff here, we already did with Nick Saban. Kirby, got turned down by Auburn, or is the story. So we could right that wrong, I guess.
Randy, did you hear that?
So the rumor is that Auburn has been offering contracts out to Kirby Smart. That's what we heard first on this show. Breaking news.
Okay.
That's what I said. Yes, absolutely. No facts to back that up whatsoever, but that's what I said.
That's why we're podcasts, right? We can.
If we want to go down the hypothetical route, I, whether for right or wrong, am a big fan of Auburn folks coming back to Auburn. And there's if you want to go the up and comer route, Rhett Lashley's sitting out there at SMU. And it harkens back to my glory days of the Gus Malzahn days. Although he is, I think, very different from Gus Malzahn. People will accuse Gus a lot of never changing, and I think probably his protege did those things. I've already said I'm a Gus Malzahn fan, Malzahn fan apologist in some ways too. I would say that we've seen that dance. We've danced that dance. We've done that thing. Let's move on. It's the same thing that like Damian Craig, who's been to Auburn already once, and everybody wants him back in a assistant coach role because he's a great recruiter. And I'm not opposed to him coming back. Don't hear me say that. But there's like this obsession with like him getting him back, and that's going to solve all our problems. I'm like, I've done that. I've just, let's do something different. So that's the only name that I would even begin to venture talking about at this point. Outside of that, I mean, Gus seems like he's done with his time as a head coach, or at least desire to be so. So that's clearly not happening. Right. I think Kirby Smart's that's what I said. Kirby Smart's the right route, right? Yeah. From this point forward.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Would you ever give Cadillac another shot? And I say that not just because of interim, but because you mentioned on the last show that he's one of your favorite people, period.
I'd need to see him do some more head coach experience before that. I love me some Cadillac Williams. And I wish that he was still here in some ways. I wish he was still here. I understand that just things needed to change. But if he were to go get some college head coaching experience, I could be easily persuaded with my love of one Cadillac Williams. Not saying it's the right choice, but the homer in me is very ready to be swayed.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's a tough one, though, jumping up from, not having really done it to coaching at Auburn and the SEC. I'd hate for him to fail because of that, because I like Cadillac too, and I'd love to see him succeed. Yeah. But what a beast this can be.
I got a name. So I'll play. I hate playing this game all the time on the thing, but I other than Rhett Lashley, Marcus Freeman.
Ooh,
okay.
I think he would do well with SEC resources.
Yeah. There were rumors that Marcus Freeman wanted to be defensive coordinator at Auburn, and it never worked out.
Wow.
Okay.
Just saying that, and I'll just go that route with it. Marcus Freeman.
Yep. So this kind of ties into some other stuff we're saying. The boss actually texted me and said, if I don't put my question on, you're fired. He's already fired Raj, so I'm gonna put up. But how is the hot seat possibility resonating with recruiting in terms of being sold on the program?
Yeah, I think you couple that with and not to bring the energy down here, but Hugh is dealing with cancer. I think both those things factor into conversations that are happening in counter recruiting efforts. I think it's a little sleazy, but hey, it is what it is. Thankfully, Hugh seems to be doing just fine in that. The language around his illness and the hot seat category doesn't seem to indicate any panic from their quarters. In fact, I would say they've exuded confidence over the last couple of days, talking about recruiting being a marathon and not a sprint. So to me, I think it's being used, certainly. And I would frankly say you're an idiot and you're not doing your job as an opposing coach if you're not trying to find every advantage to use against that.
Agreed.
But you can dissuade any of that by continuing to give guys a chance to get on the field early, get opportunities to win starting time early, get into those accolades of all SEC, and then ultimately, and what does the winning fixes everything. So win, and none of this matters.
What is kind of your correlation with how this season goes? Like, do you have a spot Auburn needs to finish at in December, recruiting wise, balance with, all right, if it's an 8-4 season, this got to be a top 10, recruiting group by the state. You know what I mean? Is there, or are you like, look, Herb, those are totally different, separate. We got to have this, and this doesn't matter. And I say a lot of this because what I'm gathering from Hugh Freeze's comments and kind of not, like the recruiting will come along. He really loves this group for this year.
Yeah.
And, recruiting is, that's the next year thing, but he really feels strongly about the group coming in this year. Playing this year, excuse me.
No, I like the way you phrased that. So like when we talk about expectations, we got to talk about multiple parts of that. And certainly the two biggest parts are the on the field and the recruiting. He's already sold and won on the field recruiting, on the recruiting side of things. I think you could take a quote unquote step back in rankings, star amounts, all that kind of stuff this year, if the wins come with it. So you win 9 games this year, which would be probably in most people's minds, a significant increase for Auburn. And you have like just a top 20 recruiting class. Oh, we're all good. Like, see the on the field stuff happened. You maybe slipped a little bit, but top 10. Texas A&M to this day, as far as I know, by most recruiting services, had, I forget what year it was under Jimbo, had the highest amount of stars, the highest rated class anybody has ever had.
Was that 2021?
I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right. We'll go with it.
Yeah.
But where is he now? So it obviously isn't the stars. It's what you do with the stars / how many stars they have when they leave.
Right.
So to me, I'd say 9 wins fixes a lot of your problems, right? Like there's not much people can complain with, even on the recruit. Like you might have complaints, but that's like, okay.
Plus, that also puts you on the cusp of the playoff if you don't happen to make it. Right.
Which is what he said today. And people, please listen when you hear people say things. He was very open about his opinions. He said conversation of the playoffs, meaning Auburn should factor into the conversation. Doesn't necessarily say they'll make it, but they should be in the conversation for that. And which, if you're in the conversation, there's a shot that you're going to make it. But that's how I would probably shake that out. I don't know that another year of more losses than wins in a top 10 class probably ain't going to fly in most people's minds.
Right. Yeah.
You have 7-5, top 2015. You're probably really dancing with danger there for powers that be.
Right.
So I think 9 wins fixes everything, I guess, is what you should think about here. 8 wins gets the job done. 7, you got to really be showing you're consistently in all other areas producing. So it's a fine line, and it's a dance he's got to dance this year.
Yep. Yeah. And that leads perfectly into looking at the schedule. And you started off, Ephraim had asked this earlier, the Baylor prediction, and then we'll kind of go into others. I don't want to say a lot, but there is, a mix of people are talking about possible upset already in that game. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about starting off the season and then just kind of going through starting off the season with that game and then going on through the rest of the schedule?
Well, let me just give a shout out to my new sister-in-law and my brother who just got married. I was actually in Waco this last week. They are. Okay, cool. She is a Baylor Bear. He has become a Baylor Bear. I have officially removed his Auburn card from him now. That's just, we handled that this week. So, but their family's all Baylor. So we're kind of excited about this weird correlation we have. I had planned to go to this game, and I may still. It's iffy right now. Anyway, you're going to hear Walker White talked about a lot here. I think they've already named the starter, and it's not him. So I don't think that's going to factor into anything this year, maybe next year when they come back to Auburn. Yeah, look, if you lose this game, you get 2 easy games at home, but then you got to go on the road to Oklahoma, Texas A&M. And so that means there's a potential there for a 2-3 start, which is not going to go over well. And Georgia just around the corner. So,
right.
Are you asking for predictions now at this point for what?
We'll start with the and this is wrong. And I was like, oh, am I wrong? This is on Friday night. Do you like it being on a Friday night? Does that affect anything with
actually
how
I
you
love
prepare?
It.
Okay,
I love it because let's talk about facts here. Auburn and Baylor at this current juncture this year are not the premier game, and on Saturday they were going to fall amongst all the premier games.
Right.
However, you do this on a Friday night with them getting excited doing their blackout on the Brazos River, and then Auburn wearing their Stormtrooper whites. It's not only going to look good on TV, I think the energy is going to play really well on top of that. Right. So right now I feel pretty fair to say that one's going to be a win, but certainly I could be convinced otherwise if people want to point something out to it's Baylor's been good in the past, but Dave Aranda is kind of on the hot seat. I feel like too always there. So it leads me to believe that all it's going to take is one little crack in the armor there for the faithful to start getting the what do they say? The natives are restless with Dave Aranda. So that's where I'm leaning.
All right. And you said, okay, so starting off there, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What do you think the record is going into Georgia?
Yeah. Let me just do that. So I'm gonna say this for my viewers that are here, and thank you guys for coming over and supporting Raj and Herb.
There you go.
This is not my official prediction because I do that 2 weeks out from the season, but I'm gonna do my gut reaction to you right now.
And we recognize it is definitely early, so you want some time to think about it.
Yeah. But this is gut reaction. I'm gonna go win. So that's 3 wins in a row. I'm gonna go win-loss. I'm going to go 4 to start, wins to start the season, loss at Texas A&M, loss to Georgia, win in Missouri, win at, versus Missouri, at Arkansas, win. I feel like Auburn's always capable of losing someone they're not supposed to. I guess you could say Kentucky. I'm sorry, Vanderbilt is prime, sitting right there with the Diego Pavia narrative. Mercer's win, Alabama. So I think I've got us 4 Alabama. I said that very fast. Alabama, I feel like could very easily be a win for Auburn if everything is trending in the right direction at that point in the season. Now, we've seen some pretty bad Auburn teams give Alabama teams the business who had no business giving the business to Alabama teams in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Right now, where I'm sitting at, I feel much more confident about that Alabama game in November than I do the Georgia game. And I'm very excited about that Georgia game. So I think right now I'm going to go with my easy answer and where I always start at. I'm kind of comfortable sitting at 8-4 where I'm at right now as an expectation.
Right.
But I can be convinced one way or the other about the schedule.
Yeah.
So if you had Alabama as a win, and then you're like Texas A&M and Georgia are losses, where would your 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, I guess I need to come up. I'm going to throw that weird one in there.
Well, I'll say this. To be fair. I throw out 10-2 for our record a lot. Mm-hmm. I never picked the 2 because I don't like saying, I think we're going to lose this game. One of those games. So if you just want to go with your numbers, perfectly fine with that. That's fair.
But let me clarify that too, because it's a good point. I want to make sure I'm giving some facts behind what I'm saying here, not just throwing things out. I think the easiest answer in a 4-loss scenario is Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. That's the easiest scenario there. It doesn't fit. The easiest answer is never the right answer, it feels like. So I'm going to just say, I'm just going to throw Alabama is a win in there just because it'll please the Auburn fans. And I do feel like it's going to be
it's going to be tough. We're not counting it.
Oh, yeah. We know what happened the last 2 times we went there. So that was
So let's change it around then. Let's say Georgia loss. Let's say Oklahoma and Texas A&M are losses, and then a weird Vanderbilt game yet again because apparently Diego Pavia did some voodoo on Hugh Freeze for some reason. I'll go that as my least likely or less likely scenario, but the obvious one that I gave you for 8-4, that feels probably the more comfortable situation.
I feel like a 3-game losing streak in the middle of the season, though, and they're getting Freeze out of there. That would be.
It's going to be tough to survive that one, unless it is literally like you are in this game and
something crazy happens.
It's right there. Yeah, like there's something that just can't be predicted in like most of those games. But that's asking a lot.
Sure. I want to be cognizant of your time. Do you need to get out of here in just a few minutes, or do you want to get to the last couple of questions?
You guys are my last. You're the best and the last of the night. Sorry for everybody.
We appreciate you. That makes us feel so good. We appreciate you, man.
Well, let me get a couple of the other people's questions. Now, did Randy not ask you this on the show earlier? Because I was listening. I don't hear this, so he's coming with the zingers afterwards.
I heard today from a beat writer that Auburn is routinely being outbid by $100K in NIL recruiting bouts. Thoughts on that? He didn't ask me this one, as far as I remember. Of course, I've been asked a lot today.
Yeah, he didn't ask it on the show. I watched the whole thing.
I not heard anything about that. I've heard crazier things than that. Can I ask y'all, where did this figure of 11 million for Jackson Arnold come from? Like, where do we get these from?
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't 11 million, but it was just some weird number that was like very specific. And I was like, what message board did this start on that y'all are all regurgitating this from?
Always want to know who's leaking certain numbers and what does it benefit to get you that, Yeah. And I'm not saying leak as in that was actual information leak. Like, who even threw that onto the universe to start? I have no idea.
And I see this a lot time in I'm sure you guys too, live streams. You'll see that a narrative is pervasive across a lot of people's minds. And so I start getting more inquisitive, and I ask, it becomes me questioning the audience, where are y'all getting this from? Like, where did this start? Trace it back.
No, I haven't heard that amount for Jackson Arnold, so I honestly have no idea. The highest amount I heard like that from a quarterback was still this whole Bryce Underwood thing at Michigan, and how much ever they decided to give him. So
it probably wasn't 11 million.
It wasn't 11 million, but it's still a lot.
It was a lot of. I was just like, where is this coming from? Like, I'm sure it's quite a bit, but anyway.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, Auburn fan, also said this, so I got to give him some love. Bo, what's up, man?
10-win season.
This is an Auburn fan too. This isn't even a Bama guy.
But see, this is why I asked you earlier, Kyle. I'm always like, who would you want to see, not as a replacement, but who would you want to see next in the coaching seat? Because people make certain comments and you're like, all right, let's just fire him. Okay, if you fire him, who are you going to get to replacement? Who are they just going to automatically take over and just do a better job right away? It takes time. You got to recruit. Yes. You got to work your way into the system. So it's easier said than done.
It's so, what's the word? I was trying to use another big word here. That was not even part of the game. I want to just be very clear here. I know I don't have all the answers and stuff, and I try not to come off as conceited or arrogant, but I gotta question a lot of things. If you're I'm gonna be nice. With the lofty expectations that some have without a lot of context. However, let me say this back to what you brought up again. If you're gonna make a change this year, it better be the right one.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the first name that popped when that question was asked when Gus was fired. One name said to me right away at that time, Dabo Swinney. That's the only one that makes sense. Like, go get him right now. He can recruit. He can win. Get him right now over here. We got the money for it. Go get him. And they didn't do it. We went to Boise. I guess Marcus Freeman was that one that kind of popped in my head out of nowhere.
I like that answer.
I like the answer. I like him as a coach too.
He's not an Auburn guy, but he's had interest in being in Auburn before. And some people would say a step down from Notre Dame, but maybe not so if you get to be in the SEC.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just
Notre Dame getting a chance at a first round bye maybe does kind of shift things just a little, and they do have, I guess more history, I guess as far as it goes, but chance to get into the SEC and some SEC resources. And just being honest, playing Alabama and Georgia, which I forgot to throw this one in here, so I'll give you a couple of seconds on that before we kind of get into the last questions. You think that there's a possibility with some of these proposals that you end up with just one rival, which would mean Auburn and Georgia could possibly not be playing each other anymore?
Yeah.
Try to quote Keldric Faulk today when he was brought that question of what did she say? What are you talking about? Like, that's a possibility that Auburn and Georgia can't be playing. That's the more realistic of like Auburn and Alabama. If if someone is stupid enough to remove the Iron Bowl from a yearly situation, I gotta question what's going on between the ears.
Yes. Fire that person immediately.
Right. Like this is all about money. Let's be honest. This is all about money, and that sells every year. I can say the same thing for the Georgia. I think this night game with Georgia is just going to be off the charts in terms of interest in it.
Yeah.
Especially if Auburn comes in undefeated, which I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it could be fun.
Hey.
I have been prepping my viewers. Apparently some weren't listening to me because they were like, I don't remember you saying that, for a long time. I think Auburn and Georgia are on the chopping block for an annual meeting. And unless they go to 9 games and move to that model that's been shown before of 3 regular opponents, switching the other 6 back and forth every 2 years. It can't be possible, but it is, unfortunately. Yeah.
I wouldn't even look at Thanksgiving the same if the Iron Bowl was cut. Like I wouldn't even know how to approach that.
And all of that. Like
all that stuff. It would just be so weird.
Yeah.
Herb, could you imagine someone saying Alabama's playing Mercer this Saturday after Thanksgiving? No.
There's not even, like there was a time period, Raj, when you and I were really becoming Bama fans from having moved here, where Tennessee had kind of surpassed Auburn as far as hate terms, because they. But I still can't imagine like us ending the year with Tennessee and not having an Auburn.
Right.
Like that would that wouldn't compute. There'd be no way I could even follow college football. I'd be like, no, okay, this is just stupid. The sport's giving up at that point.
Well, and we're experiencing that right now because equating to what you just said, it's obviously Auburn and Alabama first in terms of priorities and rivalries, but the hate has been real built between Auburn and LSU, and that's gone from us now. Yeah. There's a lot of weird things and just on both sides that have happened there, and there's an animosity that's really developed in the Tiger Bowl, and it's not happening anymore. It's there for Georgia too, but Georgia and Auburn, Randy and I talk about this a lot, and I really appreciate that he appreciates this about Auburn and Georgia, that the connective tissue is so strong that it truly is a brotherly kind of fight situation. Like you can't stand each other's guts, but my gosh, we still have the perfect example of Vince Dooley went to Auburn, became a legend at Georgia. Pat Dye went to Georgia, became a legend at Auburn. I mean, that's the best example, and they're like the best. They were the best of friends at the time. So anyway.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, as always, man, we appreciate it. That's the end of the normal questions.
Yeah.
I think we have 3 crazy questions. We'll actually give you the boss's question first. Big wrestling guy. So I don't know if you saw this when it first popped up.
I did not.
Ronnie Down, Cadillac with Bo Jackson, Trey Mason, Tank Bigsley, Jarquez Hunter, and Ben Tate enter the Royal Rumble. Who goes out first? Who wins? I know I'm the winner. I know who I pick as a winner.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all know where this is going to end up. So it's just more about how do we get there. Who goes out first?
Who's the biggest? I'm trying to think of who's the biggest. I'm just thinking off the top of my head out all these guys. Like Bo was huge.
It's got to be Bo and Ben. Maybe Ben Tate, actually.
Ben
Tate
was like 220, I think.
Yeah, Ben.
How do you know that, Raj? What's going on?
Ben ran all
internet,
over.
Herb.
I've never heard of it.
Here, I was trying to be toxic and say it's because Ben ran all over Alabama for so long. But Ben Tate probably is going to be your first out. He was known as Thunder for a reason. He'll run over you. But out of that group that I'm looking at right now, I'm going to say Ben Tate's out first. Final 4, Bo Jackson, Jarquez, Cadillac. Oh, and do I do it?
What, Tank?
Trey. I'm going Trey Mason. I'm going Trey Mason in that one.
Okay.
I love
not having a guy named Tank in your Final 4. That just seems like a travesty.
I know. And who wins it? Come on. Bo knows, baby.
Got to.
Oh, come on.
I'm playing Tecmo Bowl in the Royal Rumble with Bo Jackson. He's winning.
What are we doing here if we don't pick Bo for best in that group?
Yeah. Raj, do you want yours next?
Yeah,
JB, I don't know if I can ask yours because I asked that.
I saw that too. We have to wait for that one. Yeah.
But he did answer this similar question last time he was on here. So I don't know if it's fair to throw him in the fire again.
I'll take the other person this time.
Do you remember who the last one was?
I think I picked you, Herb.
Oh, dang it. So, yeah.
So Raj is going this time.
Yeah. So see, I want to keep my 1-0, so I'm not going to ask that
Oh
question.
my god! All right, Kyle. Question right quick. Let's just say you had to take the same job you're doing right now, social media, paraphernalia, everything in your house, your room, the love for the team that you have, and you had to take that and allocate it towards a Big 12 team. Which Big 12 team would you choose? And keep in mind, you have to do the same thing, but for that Big 12 team, which Big 12 team are you choosing?
So I'm asking this qualifying question because does it have to be a Big 12 team? And I'm not asking for another power conference. Let me answer the question. And I'll tell you why I'm asking.
Okay, good.
Big 12. Believe it or not, it might be Baylor because I've gotten so acquainted with that. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say Oklahoma State. There's something about
okay
colors, maybe a little bit. There's orange in there. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, Bedlam, Iron Bowl, that feels something a little bit similar there. I don't know much about Oklahoma State. I do think they have actually very similar background to what our academics would have been. Our roots would have been in academics, if I'm not mistaken, heavy in sciences. So my gut is saying go Oklahoma State. I probably would end up being Baylor, though. Here's my other one. And you're just going to go, what? Wyoming.
Wyoming?
I have a
You're the second person, though.
Really?
Randy?
Are you a Josh Allen fan?
No, not. I mean, I am now because I know he's attached to Wyoming.
And he'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
but
so
I think
why
Randy said the same thing.
I'm curious. Yes, Randy said the same. Yes,
because Pat Dye came from Wyoming to come to Auburn, and that's like ever since I found out that fact, I just started realizing, where is Wyoming? Why is it out there? What do they do? Every time I turned Wyoming in College Football 25 into the powerhouse of the ages. Just obviously with the easiest setting set on it, but that's not important. So I've just had this weird affinity for Wyoming.
That is interesting. Okay. That is crazy too that you guys both picked it. So, and of course, I did this service for this section. This is the questions of death that we always end with. We actually let our boss ask the first question. That was the Royal Rumble one, and then Rogers. We usually do end with the Herb versus Raj, but because you asked it last time, and I knew that you're a good guy, you would pick whoever you didn't last time. So Jay Bake, that's why we're not asking about the Iron Bowl, because I knew I would lose. And since I get to host this episode, I want to keep my 1-0 record. So,
there you go.
Last question, kind of like what we played last time. Work, play, live, ditch. All right. So you got 4 new names this time. Okay. You might like this list. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn, Gene Chizik, Tommy Tuberville.
Work, live, play, ditch.
And I skipped certain coaches because I knew either one you really loved and one was barely around. And I thought it might be the easy ditch. So I went back with the rest of it.
Yeah, that's the ditch part is going to be difficult there. Work, live, play, ditch. Okay, let's go with I would like to live with Gene Chizik. I'd like to live with him.
See?
Work with, is it for or with?
With alongside 40 hours a week.
I love the hurry up, no huddle. So I'm going to work with Gus. Ditch. And what's the last one?
Play. Who are you going out with on Friday night?
Play who I'm going out with on Friday night. And we got Tommy and we got, who else left in this scenario?
Who'd you say? Hugh Freeze for the first one?
Hugh Freeze. Wow, there's some bad jokes in fight.
Yes, there is.
Night.
You set this one up, so.
But look, Hugh, I love you, man. I love you, but I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna ditch you right now because we haven't got to know you all that much yet. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna ditch Hugh Freeze in this scenario. I got loyalty to my past guys, but play with. I'll pick Tommy Tuberville. Tommy's got all the connections now that he's a politics guy,
right.
So he's got to know where the party is,
right?
So I think. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Gene living with him.
My problem with that answer is you've just set me up to say Hugh Freeze is just going to call you from a burner, so you know. So you don't know you're ditching his call. I mean, you just made it too easy.
I did. I walked right into that one. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Sorry, man. I got to be me. So Randy also wants to get in on the questions.
I saw it.
Do I click it or not click
it?
Yes,
just click it.
Bring the heat. Bring the heat.
One podcast of national championship game.
Who do I not want to see again? That's the question.
Carol's already mad at you because you said that was the best podcast earlier, and then you said it to us too. Which, in your defense, they were the first one, so at that time it was the best. And then
I was going to say, I don't know how much you should take that because I've told everybody today they're the best one so far.
That's fair.
Are we playing against each other in the national championship?
He didn't say.
That's the qualifier.
I would say. I guess you're playing against whoever you take.
Ooh.
I'm going to take you guys because I want to watch the world implode when Auburn and Alabama play in the national championship. I do think that the rapture would happen at that moment. Like the world would cease to exist, and I just can't stand listening to people, grown men, bark for 4 hours. So, sorry, Randy.
That's true.
I'll go with the Iron Bowl just because. Wow, what would you guys are awesome, and of course, it would be great to see it in terms of just the
national
magnitude.
championship.
Jeez,
dude.
Mike had to throw it in. See, people get into the questions of death, and they make them rough for you. So
I stayed away from the play thing for Freeze too. I was like, I don't.
We appreciate that, man. Like I said, Kyle, it's always been a pleasure having you on here, man. We definitely have to talk again before the Iron Bowl. This could set up as a really, really great one if things go both our teams' way. But first off, tell everybody where they can find you, what you got going on next. Been a lot of coverage from you the last couple of days. It's been good.
Yeah. And then I just got back from wedding week, and so I had to kind of jump right into this, and I'm behind on college football 26 content for all our viewers and stuff. So we'll get to that. The best thing that I can suggest is that you just search us up everywhere, E2C Network or the Auburn Experience or both. That's why I've got the kind of tagline in there with it. We're branding both ways these days. YouTube is a home base of sorts, as I know it is for you guys. So lots of content there, live streams, other videos. We have the Auburn Experience podcast, which is our main show, which a lot of stuff feeds out of. And social media, everyone on there. We do TikTok lives, as I know you guys have discovered. Most days during the week, and it gets a little rowdy in there, and I have to deal with some of your brethren a lot. So it can be a little bit different of a feel of me, and I get a little bit more toxic, I guess, in those chats than I do here. But basically, if I could send you one place, definitely check out our podcast. We'd love to see people subscribe to that and our YouTube channel.
Sir,
awesome.
Appreciate that. We'll get the last three in there. Yep. Like I said, that's why we always invite. It's always a good time, man. It's always a good time.
Yes,
Kyle from Kyle. Ken DeFee's real name's Kyle, or at least that's what we think it is. That's what we've made it up, so that's where we're going. So, and then of course ended with Randy. Like I said, y'all had a great show on there too. Two of our favorite people, two of our favorite podcasters. So, and I'm not gonna put it. Wait a minute. We're not gonna get you in any more trouble, Kyle. Like we said, man, we appreciate it. That was a great show. You can't have a summer preview series without bringing Auburn into it.
Yes.
Hope to catch up with you around the Iron Bowl for sure. We're going 1-0, so I'll hang out with you at the Iron Bowl. Raj will just call and send the picture. So.
Sorry. Let me answer the question. So it's still him.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We will have a special episode tomorrow night. Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football and Locked On Oregon will be joining us at 8:00 tomorrow night. Just got that one put together. Then, of course, Saturday night, we're back at 7:30 for Herb N Rodg After Dark. Apparently a supercilious show coming up. And then next week, we're joined by Locked On Vanderbilt, a show I never thought we'd have to put together, but after last year and after the War of Words, it has to happen now. So, and Roger just reminded me, we'll be on Way Offsides this Thursday at 8 p.m. So we're trying to stay busy like everybody else is. So. Appreciate you, Kyle. Like I said, we definitely subscribe to it. Check out his YouTube channel. Check out their network. Great stuff. Raj, you did okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody have a great night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.